Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's that time of year again. We're getting ready to get up on the mountain. Only a few more months left and we'll be up there. So of course, we have sleds getting ready for the season. My friend Luis just got this thing. It's a 97 580 EXT. We already did a little bit of cleanup on it. A little bit of disassembly. Not too terrible a shape. It already does run, which is awesome. But I think one of the fanciest features is this heated seat. Unfortunately, as with most older sleds, there's some cobbled together stuff and repairs that need to get done. So being as it has 3,600 miles on the speedo, or on the odometer, and the speedo does work, we're going to do a top end on it. So much needed cleanup, slight repairs, just some different things we need to do. Fix this exhaust. It is the EFI, which is nice. I prefer these over the carbureted ones. It just, for me, makes life a little simpler. We got some electrical cleanup to do. Fix some of the cobbled togetherness of it. Already took the clutch off on secondary. Here's the switch for the heated seat. Kind of different. So we'll get that put back together after the rebuild, and we'll go through some of the electrical and see what we can figure out. I think the tub in the front here is a little bent. It doesn't seem to line up right. So probably have to do some of that. It's got some cracking in the frame, or in the shell here, the fiberglass. Other than that, it's in pretty good shape. We are in need of a single bogey wheel. This one's gotten a little chewed. So today's mission is going to be bearings and a rebuild. Well, a top end deal. So here's what we got. We have some moly coated pistons. Let's try out this Pro X brand, see if they're any good. I don't know if I've used Pro X before, but that's what we got. We have the all balls bearings. I like these kits. And we have the top end gasket kit. So with all of this, we should be ready to go. I prefer to buy new wrist pins and bearings when I do these. I don't like to use the old ones. But you Suzuki Arctic guys will know that 3,000 to 5,000 miles, these skirts on the pistons start to get a little worn out, and it's pretty much a time bomb waiting to happen. If you've watched my 600 powder special first startup, that was exactly what happened. Piston skirt, rapid unplanned disassembly, and it took out the jug with it. Had to buy a new jug. So this sled still has 124 and 121 psi of compression, cold. So I'm not really too concerned about the cylinder walls at this point, but I guess we'll see when we get there. It seems like it's been at least marginally taken pretty good care of, and we'll see if we can get that back up to about 125 after it breaks in. So let's rebuild this thing and put some new bearings on it and kind of take you guys through what we do here today. Well, one of the more interesting things about working on old machines is dealing with people's solutions to problems. Not entirely certain what thought process was going on here in an environment that is full of hills and jumps and bumps and rocks and trees and fields and every sort of surface you can imagine. These obviously have springs in them normally, but apparently not only were the springs removed, but the exhaust was welded straight and in a very awkward position. So now I'm going to have to figure out how in the world I'm going to get this out of here and try to salvage it as much as I can. So yeah, it's really on there, so I don't know how exactly we're going to do that. So we're going to have to probably unbolt the muffler, and if I have to, I'm going to have to cut it in half maybe. I don't know. I've never seen anybody do this before. This is very odd. So alright, let's get it off of there. Alright, so we got the owner. Here's Louise. He's going to help me get the exhaust off of here, and we're going to continue the process. So Luis is getting into snowmobiling for the first time, and going to try it out on an older sled this year, and maybe we'll get the bug in him, and he wants to get a brand new one next year maybe. We'll see, huh, Luis?
Hi.
Alright, so let's get to work. So now, let's do the top first. Let's do these bolts, because we're going to put new gaskets in there. Okay. Well, we got the heads off, so now we can start worrying about doing the rebuild, getting these pistons off of there and throw the new ones in. Pretty simple process. We'll just remove the jugs real quick and then get back to you. Good. Hey. Sounded pretty good, huh? Somebody might have over-torqued that. Alright, just a little update. So we finally got the jugs out. They were RTV'd down pretty hard. So the boots are cracked and broken, so we've got some new ones on the way now. And we're just cleaning up all the junk and getting her ready for honing. We'll deglaze the inside of the cylinder wall. Yeah, that one's cracked too. So yeah, we got brand new ones on the way, 12 bucks a piece. And we'll get these cleaned up, ready to go, re-honed and reinstalled. Alright, time for the hone. So, do that.
Moving natin.
And then
Also, you broken.
yeah, scared me. So we're just deglazing and getting a nice crosshatch pattern back in there. And you can kind of see that it's got that, so we're good to go. With these Nicosil plating, you don't want to do too much honing, and you got to be pretty careful with these things because otherwise you'll go past the Nicosil and into the aluminum, and then it won't hold the heat out. So we'll go ahead and get the other one done and start replacing some bearings in the motor before we put this back together. Here, yeah. Well, it's another day here, and we've got some parts in. I took apart the rear axle with the adjustable bogey wheels here. A lot of bad bearings, so we went ahead and ordered some new ones, and we will be replacing these because these guys were pretty seized up. They don't really do anything anymore. So only one bearing was still good. So we're going to replace the other 3. I think I have 10 here, but there's probably a lot of, well, there's not probably. There's a couple of them on the skid that are still kind of seized up, and I want to go ahead and replace those. I know this one's locked up for sure. That one's fine. But I'll probably end up using all 10 bearings just to make sure that, you know, we use up the parts we have for the snowmobile. No real sense in keeping stuff around, not using it. Not too expensive. I think these were $35 for 10. So we'll do that and then get the rest of this put back together. Well, another weekend and some more parts in. This time we got some plastics and some new idler wheels. This one doesn't spin, if you remember from earlier, at all. And this one's all chewed up. It's pretty bad. So we're going to replace it. And this one here was really wobbly. And I'm not going to leave that like that. So we have the inner and the outer plastics and the new plastic slides. So we'll install those and see if we can maybe put this motor back together today. Hopefully we can get some progress and get this thing running soon. So stay tuned. There we go. Much better. Set 4. Perfect. So you can see how badly worn out that is. This wheel, when it's touching the table here, it should be about there. and it's not even close. So, put some bearings in this thing and call it done. Oops. One second. Oh.
Oh. That one is for the boat?
Yeah, so that's the exhaust side there, so that will point that way. So this, just go here, that, and you have to very carefully, so, hold on. So I'm going to take my hands away, but these are just sitting here, okay? So you have to be very careful, make sure, let me see. Yeah, see like that?
Oh, yeah.
That's why I put the rag there. Very nice.
A little more.
These can be a pain in the butt. Okay. Yeah, they look good. Just a little bit. Perfect. Okay. I should have had the oil after.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so let's see. Go like that. And ooh. Nah, we can do it later. We have the new intakes.
Oh, yeah.
But we can do it after. That's no big deal. Okay, so hold on. So the rings, we have to get into the grooves. So right there, and then right there. Then we have to squeeze very square. It has to be very flat. And then rock it back and forth. There you go. That wasn't too bad. That was easy. So down gentle, don't smash my finger. Go down. There you go. Okay. And then put it down all the way. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, now the other side. I'll do that. See those dimples? So that's where the ring. Very nice. Good.
So cleaning the oil one.
No, I'm just listening for. It sounds normal. So I think we're okay. Good. Stretch a little bit. Yep. check the gasket. Is it good? All right, we got her back together. So now Luis is going to undo the kill switch. Yeah, yep. And we're going to give her a couple of pulls. I say 6, he says it's 5. So let's see what happens.
Go.
Yep. That was a little different. Oh, we had to do a slight adjustment to the idle control down here. The throttle cable was just tightened up a little bit from when we took it off of the throttle bodies. So, got it adjusted now, and this is a cold start the next morning. Let's see how she does. it's doing what it's supposed to. Definitely noisy with this broken exhaust, however. But it looks like he's got eyes on a new one. Hopefully locally. These are getting harder to find as the old ones rot out and they're not stored properly or just over time. Yeah, she's going to be good for the season. Brand new top end. Take care of some of this wiring jungle going on. Fix the kill switch. We have a new button for here. I think he's got the whole new throttle assembly. Put that on there. Put the key back in it. Fix up all the little odds and ends and hopefully get his fancy seat warmer working. I'd like to see that work just because it's there. Why not? And then fix some of this stuff going on. Other than that, should run pretty good for the upcoming season. Obviously, without a belt dragging on the clutch, it's hard to get it to drop down and idle. That's why I put my foot on it a little bit, but once we get the clutches back on there, it will drop down normally. Also, one thing I noticed is, and I don't really know exactly what the differences are, but according to this is a ZR 580, not an EXT. My understanding is the ZR is a slightly less, the EXT is a slightly less top end feel. I'm not entirely certain. Maybe you guys can correct me. But as far as I know, this one should perform pretty similarly. I've read a little bit stating that there's different porting in the exhaust for the ZR than the EXT, but it all depends on the year. Don't really know what problems we're looking at with this. But anyways, talk to you guys next time. Well, it's getting to be about that time. Almost ready to stick this back in here. I went ahead and loosened this back up. I usually tighten them up underneath, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to go ahead and do that the same way this time or not. Usually going to try some new stuff here and there, but it's all good. We'll just go ahead and do it the way it is. So, we have the chain case all ready to go back together. All the bolts for that, the oil plug and everything. Got our new bearing and seal on. Got the keeper. So before I install it, this will probably just do some pre-packing of some grease in there. Obviously I washed it out with carb clean and brake clean and stuff, so I want to make sure that that's good and greased up. So I'm probably gonna have to redo my tape here, but that's okay. I was trying out different size washers to see which one of the gaskets I like better, and I like the bigger one, so I'm gonna go with that one there, and then the little one on the actual chain case. So, brought the old track back inside. As you guys know, there's an arrow on these things, which indicates direction. I've had some people point out to me in the past that it looks like there's pretty good scoopage going on, and that if you run the track that direction, like this, looks like you would get some pretty good traction out of it. And while that is probably very true, it also takes away from your braking. So I don't really recommend running the track backwards unless the track was designed for it. I don't know if it would be negligible or not, but I've never really tried it out. This track's getting a little bit of dry rot. It's got some torn logs, but the snowmobile was $100, so we're gonna keep using it. I think he's probably gonna do some upgrading next year, and if he likes the sport, which, I mean, come on, how's he not gonna like it? It's a 580. Probably get something a little bit newer, and see what kind of crazy stuff he can do. So we still have quite a bit of electrical stuff to do, but I don't know how much of that I'm going to be doing, because he probably can figure, he's a mechanic himself, so probably just take it to his house and finish some of that stuff up. I'm just doing this portion just to make some YouTube videos for you guys and keep the fun rolling. Still need to get some, you know, things figured out, brakes, that kind of junk. Anyways, I guess I'll throw this track underneath and let you guys see that process, but yeah, the snowmobile's coming to an end. Still got to figure out something with this exhaust. I don't know exactly what we're going to do. He picked this up for like $40. It came with a white pipe, but I'm not entirely certain that we can really use it. Although granted, this is much better. The mounts are in the wrong location. So this one, as you can see, has them kind of to the side there, and then two in the front, whereas this just has the two. So we will go ahead and see what we can come up with, but I mean, if we're just gonna go for it for the season, I don't know if it'll break or not, so I guess we can cross that bridge when we get to it, but hopefully it breaks clean, then we can just put the correct donuts on there and go from there. Anyways, let's get this thing put together and see what she does.
For most of years, a flying boat would be the achievement of a lifetime. But Sikorsky has an even bigger dream. He's been obsessed by a different kind of flying machine ever since childhood. He'd seen it in Leonardo da Vinci's sketches, and he'd read about it in a Jules Verne's sci-fi.
So, get you off the stand here. You could probably see that I didn't, pre-grease the speedo thing here. Nor do I don't think we had it. I think it was destroyed when we took it out, pretty sure. I know there's bits to the bearing that was down here. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this was a couple of weeks ago now, that the speedometer cable was done. But I don't have another one on hand, so we're going to ignore that portion for the moment, and I'll just, you know, hook it up like normal for now. And if he wants to purchase the little, I don't know, 2.5 inch piece, 2-inch piece that connects the two, it's just like a little connector rod deal. It's kind of like this. Then he can. If he doesn't want to, then no biggie. Not really super important to have a speedo out there anyways. But got that side done, so now we just need to hook up the bearing on the other side and put the secondary clutch on, put the suspension on, and it's essentially good to go, kinda. So as far as that stuff's concerned. Anyways, let's put the other side on. Well, it's finally time. The track is back on, and we need to start doing the tension on the track and then work on the tracking. But first things first, time to get this tow strap out of here, or this ratchet strap out of here. And she's officially on the ground, all on its own. Look at that. A couple of weeks in the making. Took a little longer than it should have, but I had other things going on at the same time, so glad to finally be pretty much done with this one as far as changing out the bearings and putting it back together and getting it back to a rebuilt running sled. These things are pretty bulletproof beyond all that stuff, so once those major portions are changed out, you're you know, grease and go for the season pretty much. Definitely not for the faint of heart if you are afraid to get a little dirty. The only thing really major left to do is just to put on the oil pan cover, the chain case oil pan, or the chain case cover, and the oil plug on the bottom side, which I still haven't gotten to. Other than that, we pretty much ready to go. So he can figure out what kind of investment he would like to make into this thing as far as modifications or corrections to modifications, and get this thing back to 100%. So anyways, that's that portion of it. I'll go ahead and throw the oil plug back in, put the chain case cover back on, kind of just double check some stuff, and obviously tighten up the 2 bolts on the front part of the suspension. I just put the locking nut on there so I could get the backside tightened down. But anyways, let's go ahead and do track tension and get this thing done.
Actually, that was the common reason to frequency around the world. So they didn't, as the Russians did, take